Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody across the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV. It's always a pleasure to welcome the sports greats, the NHL greats, and Ron is that 860 NHL games, 620 points. For those that don't know, that's real good. And I got a lot to get to with Dukes. Merry Christmas, Ron. How are you?
Yeah, hey, Rod. Merry Christmas to you. It's been a while. We haven't talked in a while, probably over a year.
No, far too long. I'm glad that you noticed, but I'm keeping track. You've been globe-trotting. Give me an update in your life, Ron. It looks very exciting.
I'm based out of Florida, northern part of Florida, not in the crazy down there near Miami. So it's my home base, and I like to just kind of relax here because part of my family's here. So it's my home base, but I still go into Alaska. Also, you've seen me this past weekend. I was in New York, part of the 100-year anniversary. I did some of that. So I'm still enjoying the Ranger activities, but I guess I've slowed down the last year.
Okay, if that's slowing down for you. But I didn't even know. This came up the other day. I was Googling you. I thought I knew everything about you. I didn't know that you'd coached 4 years in Jacksonville. What made you want to do that?
Well, it wasn't a calculated thing. I was actually playing on their team, the minor league team, because of, I still enjoy playing. I'm still playing now. But back then, I was in the men's league, and they were short players. So I went out and played like 5-6 games on this team. And then they decided they needed to fire their coach. They needed to change. And they asked me if I would take over. So if you can imagine, one day I'm on the ice with these guys as a teammate. The next day I step on the ice, I got my coach's hat on. And I had to figure it out pretty quick because all I had done before is coached kids, right? Teenagers, youth hockey. And now I'm teaching guys that are adults. And there was only like 13 games left in that season. And so I had to make the best of it. And I just relied on my instincts on, what I've been through myself with the coaches that I've had. And it kind of felt good. So the following season, they had asked me if I wanted to continue. And of course, I said I will, only if I can select my type of players and have a good assistant coach with me. And that's what I did. And that following season, I ended up winning a championship.
See, that doesn't surprise me. I was just going to say, you're the kind of guy that could do whatever you put your mind to. But listen, we will get to the Rangers and all that stuff that you talk about on every other show. I don't care about that as much as I do about Sarah meeting Kenny Albert and you telling me she was more excited to meet Marv. Tell me about that this week, please.
Well, why don't I let her tell you?
Sure, whatever. Oh, my God. Are you serious? The great
Yeah.
Sarah Palin joining the RP show? Oh, welcome. Hi,
hey,
Sarah.
Say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Great to finally meet you on the air, Sarah. How are you doing?
I'm doing great because I get to hang out with Dubes and watch hockey with him and get to meet you from afar. And I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you for doing in-depth, intelligent interviews, all that inside baseball stuff, especially when it comes to hockey. It's good for a fan like me.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. Ron, get out the way, Ron. Sarah and I are talking here.
Yeah.
I'm only. He knows I'm teasing. Sarah, make yourself comfortable. So I saw the photo of you and Kenny, and you both looked a little starstruck. But Dukes told me last night that Marv was kind of more your guy. Tell me about it.
Well, yeah, that was my era, and I have a degree in journalism. I started out as a sportscaster, and that's what I thought I was going to do forever. Back then, though, I think Willow Bay was like the only female sportscaster on the air. So it was really a man's world back then. But yeah, I was a big fan of his dad's. And then I think he's one of the best of the best. And it was fun to finally meet the kid in person.
Yeah, you're right. Well, they're both fantastic broadcasters. But you're so used to being the star in Alaska. I've been following you guys' relationship, and it wasn't Facebook official for the longest time, but now it is. So we can say you go to New York and Ron's the star. What's that like? You get kind of revert as kind of a fan. What's it like being around him in that area, that arena?
No, it's so deserved. Him, the accomplishments under his belt is absolutely amazing. What he has done, as a hockey player, as an athlete, as such a proponent of the game, especially the Rangers organization. He is the ambassador in my book. He is the one who so many people, especially from, 10, 20, 30 years ago, so many people associate Rangers with Dukes and, the flow and the persona. He was bigger than life out there on the ice, but also in the streets in New York, and just a really good spokesperson for the organization.
No doubt. Well, you're tugging at my heart here, because with me and my friends, we all loved our Ron Duguay cards and all the rest. And I was a big fan. So having him on this show and to call him a friend daily is a thrill for me. But if you asked him to grow his hair out, Sarah, I was thinking about that this morning. I was out for my run, and I was going to ask Ron, but I'll ask you. Have you asked him to grow it back? I wouldn't mind if he did, but how about you?
Same with me. I'm the biggest fan of a mullet. So, yeah, I mean, corny
okay,
as
Ron,
it is.
it's up to you. It's on you
Yeah.
now, Ron. Is it coming back or not?
No, this is older, shorter. That's what I say, and I say it for myself. I think longer ages you, and shorter makes you look a little bit younger. Like, I'm looking at you, and you look awesome with your hair my length right now. You don't want to
Yeah.
go long because it looks like you're trying too hard, right? So
You're
I keep it short. I like the new look, and it works for me now.
You're such a
Ron,
charmer.
I just
You
want
should be
to
the
add,
politician. Mm-hmm.
yeah, Rod, I just want to add one of our favorite things to do is sit down and watch the Ranger game, because she's become a real fan in the last 4 years since being around me. So she loves the Rangers. We love doing it together at home. And the question she'll ask me, I do have some insight on what I think is going on during the game and also off the ice.
Yeah.
For an example, last game last night, and this is, I guess, a question back to you and your thoughts back to you. Coach decides to sit out Zibanejad because he was late for morning meeting. Do you know this? He had him sit out last night. And right away, my thought on that was, because it was a punishment, right? It meant to be a punishment, but he's sitting him out in a game that was really important. Zibanejad is, right now I think he has 11 goals, really good on the power play. Sure enough, they lose the game in a game where they had opportunities on the power play, no Zibanejad. So my question to the coach is, you could not find another form of punishment, because now you're not just punishing Zibanejad, you're punishing the whole team, right? Because all those players want him on the ice, and even the fans. And you lose this game could be the 2 points that keeps you out of the playoffs. So I go deep into this. I would have found another way to punish him without having him miss a game. Your thoughts?
Well, that's old school coaching. You know that. And I didn't think that worked anymore. But sometimes with some teams, it does. With a baseball team that I work with in the summer, the coach benched his catcher because his girlfriend came to town. He says, "Can I miss the game tonight?" He says, "Can I miss our lift this morning?" And he says, "Yeah, you can, but you're not playing tonight." That does still happen, Dukes. This is one game. I don't think we've seen the fallout of it yet. Would you not think Zibanejad feels extra bad? I mean, the gamble is you hope your team wins without him, but it didn't happen. I don't think we know how this is going to turn out yet.
Listen, and I said this to Sarah, I know players. The season is long, right? And for a player, he's kind of looking at it, well, I like to play, but I'm going to look at it as a day off. So for him, a day off, he's going to go home, have dinner with his wife, have a glass of wine, and watch it from home. So it's not a real punishment. A real punishment would have been if you hit him in the pocketbook, have him go out, take the whole team out for dinner, and by the way, you're paying. That bill could be $5,000 to $10,000, right? So that way you're just punishing him and not the whole team. Now, if you were to ask the whole team, do you think that you want Zibanejad to be punished and not play the game tonight? I bet you every player said, absolutely not. We need to win this game. Sure enough, they lost. He was Coach Sullivan. I love him because I think he's done a wonderful job. But on this, I disagree with him. It backfired on him.
Well, so it was interesting, Rod, too. It was interesting, though, watching that incident play out, sitting next to Dukes, because Dukes right off the bat, he says, wait, why is coach punishing the team and the fan base, right? This is an important game. It's a home game. There are other ways to hold him accountable, Mika, for being late or for missing the meeting. For instance, the example that Ron gave, make him take everybody out for a $10,000 dinner, hit him in the pocketbook. Yep. And then, that's a punishment that fits the crime, if you will. So listening to him, his inside thoughts as he articulates it is like, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's right. Because I'm thinking, yeah, like coaches holding the accountable, that's important. But Ron, he takes it another step that I wouldn't have thought. So anyway, right off the bat, though, it was funny. He's like, he was getting kind of riled up about it. He goes, I'm going to tweet that. I'm going to tweet my thought on that right now. Boom, he tweets it that there are other more fitting punishments for Mika. Right off the bat, Linda Cohen from ESPN,
Yep.
She, right off the bat, 2 seconds later, I agree with you, Ron, and they're going back and forth about, and a typical fan, a hockey mom, Joe Sixpack, I don't think that we take it that next step and think of that kind of inside baseball perspective that you guys would have to figure out another way of accomplishing a goal. So that's a good example of it being interesting to sit with Ron.
Oh, yeah. Well, would you not say, Ron, it was a major gamble by Mike Sullivan to do that? I mean, you don't expect to lose. It backfired. You don't expect to lose the game like that.
It backfired. He went in the post game. You can tell he was not happy with it, and you can tell because he was questioned on it. Because someone was asking him, is there anything more to this? Is this like a continuous thing? Has he done other things? Is this it? That's all he did? In New York City, traffic, whatever, missed a meeting. This game's really important, coach. He's your best player on the power play, and you're sitting him out because of what? It was kind of how the question was phrased. You can tell Sullivan was saying, well, we as a organization, we have our rule, blah, blah, blah. He sounded just like Patrick Waugh on the island, who did the same thing. Now, they got away with it. They end up winning the game. But
right.
And so they sounded identical, same. And to me, that's like old school thinking. I would have never done it that way. I would have done it a different way. In fact, I would have gone to the players. What do you think is a good punishment for this? Let the players decide. Because really, it's about the players, right?
Ask
They're
the
doing
leaders.
everything they can to win a game, and they know it may come down to 2 points, making the playoffs or not. So
it's like you just heard us.
Lost.
Yeah.
And then and even in the post game, coach talked about how the lack of success they had on the power play. Well, Zibanejad was not there. Anyways, I've said enough on that.
You made your thoughts known. The viewers want to chime in here. Rob is watching in Las Vegas. He says benching the player ultimately hurts the team. Ryan in Saratoga, New York writes in. He says, it's December 2025 and former Governor Sarah Palin is on the RP show. What a time to be alive. Also, I like the beard, Ron. John in Winnipeg writes in, says, Sarah is so well-spoken and intelligent. I wish she was the president. That's from John in Winnipeg. So there you go. Are you doing any business in Florida, Sarah, or just enjoying Christmas? What's the plan?
Oh, I head back to Alaska tomorrow, but just enjoying hanging out with Ron. It was so much fun to be in New York with him also, where he was honored on the ice along with other alumnus. And it was fun to see him kind of in that element.
Well, like I say, he's a star there. So it'd be pretty cool for you to be there as the fan. Yeah. What's up, Dukes?
So, Ron, I was just going to answer. But the question was that, if she has any plans on possibly getting into politics again. And I think right now she's just kind of sitting back because things are kind of ugly out there. And I think she's just kind of sitting back and waiting her time, possibly get back in, because she does have a gift on governing, as we all saw what she did in Alaska and as a mayor in her hometown. So she has a gift that she should pursue in the future. She doesn't quite know what that is yet. And she's just kind of sitting back, watching and listening.
Good for you. Well, I think we all know who we would be voting for. WQVZ Radio, Auburn, Alabama, writing in says, great join, Rod. Yeah, by Sarah and Ron Duguay it is. Yeah, great guess, of course. Well, I'm a little disappointed to know you're going back, Sarah, because, Ron, the Rangers are playing the Panthers here in the outdoor game on January the 2nd. Can I in any way convince you to come? Are you still going to be around?
Yeah, so I've talked about that, and I was going to ask you that question. Are you going to the game? Because I think I may drive down for that game. I have 2 tickets because the Rangers have a suite, and so I booked myself into that suite. So what are you asking me?
Are you coming? I'll see you here.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Which, by the way, I've been here 5 years now. It was a dream 5 years ago that we would have an outdoor hockey game in South Florida. And we're going to have two Tampa Bay and Miami. And actually, since I have you here and you're sitting there in St. Augustine, somebody wrote in here last week and said Jacksonville's leading the league in attendance. Is there any chance that the NHL would ever go there? How would you answer that?
It's such a football based here. When I coached, there was a couple games where we had, because the facility, well, we need a new facility for starters, right? Because it only sits maxed out at, I think, 10,000. I maxed out a couple of times in a few of my games. So there's a base here if it's promoted correctly, because there's a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of Russians here, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of Canadians. And so is it possible? Yeah, because when you look at the population of Jacksonville, I think it would work. Now, the NHL, what they look at is there enough business here, business money, to be able to fund an NHL team. That I'm not sure, but I think it's like any other city. You bring it and people will come.
Okay, well, hey, while I have you, I better ask you about the Olympics. And I don't know which side to go. You got an American there in Sarah, who's clearly cheering for USA. You're a Canadian like me from Sudbury, Ontario. What are your thoughts on the Olympics and the ice schmozzle? How do you think this is going to play out? And if they play, who's going to win?
Yeah, well, I think that the thing with Olympics, I enjoy watching all teams, all games. And of course, I favor Canada because I'm still a Canadian citizen, although I love the United States. All my kids, my whole families are all American. So if it came down to the Americans and Canadians, of course, I'm going to root for the Canadians. And not in a big way, but more than anything else, I just want to see good hockey. And when those two teams play, especially the last time we saw them play, there's a lot of fire on the ice. The Kachuks out there changed everything, right? Because we didn't want to see nice, soft hockey. We want to see two teams battle it out like we've seen in the past. So I think the two favorites, obviously, it's going to be, well, I don't want to say obviously because the Russians are going to be really good. Just a minute, the Russians are not going to be in there, right?
No, they won't.
They're still banned. And I was part of a group that was being asked to try to support the Russians back into the Olympics, but the war needed to end back in November, right, or October for them to have a chance. But it looks like they're not going to be in there. Anyways, there'll be other good teams like the Swedes will be good, Finns will be good, but I think it'll come down to the Canadians and the Americans, and it's a toss-up on who wins on that one.
Well, it went to overtime on the Four Nations face-off, and here's the thing. Your guy, Mike Sullivan, was the coach for Team USA. The guy that benched Mika Zibanejad last night. I have a tough time criticizing coaches because I never coached, but you did. So I feel that you're a lot more comfortable criticizing coaches.
Well, I don't know if I'm really criticizing him. I'm just pointing out to what I would have done, and I think there's a better way. And I think that we're all capable of learning and doing something different. I was just surprised he did it. Patrick Roy, I was not surprised when he did it, but when Sullivan did it, because you got to run it by Chris Drury, right? Because the manager, he's got to agree to it. Because I'm telling you, it's bigger than just one player missing a game. They lost the game last night. I think he could have made the difference.
I think the problems with the New York Rangers are a lot bigger than all of this, and I didn't want to ask you about that. We only got 2 hours. Okay, Madam Governor, if I can still say that, what an honor. Merry Christmas. Thanks for jumping on. Good luck with your future exploits. I hope we can do it soon. Again.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday. You and Beethoven. You share the big day with Beethoven.
How about that? Thank you. Thanks, Ron. Nice surprise. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, maybe.
Great Ron. Oh, sorry, Dukes. They're pushing us off. We'll be right back here on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.